picking this time, it is Polaris with the first pick. They're going to be grabbing up one Undying for themselves. But yeah, I think after the previous game here, I hope Tempest can come in swinging a little bit more because they didn't have anything going for them. It was just all Polaris in game one. There was really nothing they could put up for a defense or even deter. Like I mentioned halfway through that this Naga, they're never going to have to use her. She's farming for nothing. This was a 4v5 win, technically, you know. Like, she was just an extra.
Lelouch just went off, to be perfectly honest. That guy just racking up kill after kill. Didn't die a single time. Got very good timing on all of his items. Got the Bloodstone as well. It felt like an outclassing at the end of the day there. But we are seeing some comfort picks now coming out for the side of Tempest. I believe that'll most likely be Draken on that Viper. He plays that quite a bit. And we do see, you know, some of these bans. I love the it's actually no, it's Polaris that go and do the ban on the Lich. Interesting. Wait, is that swapped? Is it? No.
No, banning Lich and also banning out the Naga Siren, you know. It's the classic, you win with a hero and then you ban it afterwards yourselves. You can't have it.
Yeah, I had to do a double take there. I was like, wait a minute. They're banning these out? I was like, are
banning
those
their old
bans?
draft.
Like, whoa, yeah.
Let's see if they keep going, ban more of the heroes from last game.
I know, right? I'm curious to see what the plan is. Undying, you get very, very strong, very, very popular currently with being able to just spam decays in the lane. And then you've got the Nature's Prophet, which is something that I believe we just saw that in the infamous game. Parker was playing the Prophet, but...
Yeah, he did. We've seen it played in many different ways. I actually think Parker was playing a great Prophet that game too. I liked how aggressively he would TP in and dive with confidence. But yeah, Nature's Prophet, the hero that we can see played in many different positions, generally either as a carry or as an offlaner is the most common. But he's just a very good hero for pressuring towers early and still getting to be that extra carry later on. If you run him as an offlaner, he becomes a right clicker eventually. So we'll see how they want to lane it, what they want to do with it. But pairing him up with Undying, you can certainly take towers quite early with Tombstone and Treants. You secure yourself some pretty good siege.
Yeah, those were some very, very fast bans that just came out. No Slark. Slark has been moving up pretty fast here in the pecking order. It's been looking very, very good recently with the changes that he's received. The Enigma has been something that's been very popular, and the Bat Rider banned out too, so...
Yeah, and we see SF, again, a hero that has had decent popularity here in the last time's qualifiers. The hero has been quite strong ever since the stacking slow on races. We've seen him more and more, both in pubs and high-level competitive games as well. And it's going to be Tempest playing it along with the Viper and their Shaker. I like SF into Nature's Prophet. If you ever get the Shadowblade and Nature's Prophet is split pushing, you can very easily find yourself a kill on him just with an SF ulti. Because Furin is going to be on those side lanes pressuring a lot of the time.
Be interested to see if they pick up something that provides them some vision on the side of Tempest, just because the idea that you do have a Nature's Prophet. A good hero, though, that also provides that vision is, of course, you know, a Clockwork, but that's picked up on the side of Polaris. That's going to be able to give them the opportunity to separate heroes away from fights using the cogs. It's also just, it feels very efficient recently. I think we've seen, the one other game, it was up against the Marcy, and we discovered that the Battery Assault is the perfect amount of just spacing, so that way they can't use, it was the Dispose, right?
Marcy wasn't able to use Dispose. Yeah, I think maybe he could have done it if he chased in a more efficient way, but he was chasing after Clockwork and just simply could not get the Dispose back on him, which looked really funny. But yeah, Clockwork is a hero that we also see every now and then against Shadow Fiend, because you have that wind-up time on the ulti. Battery Assault, great for canceling that as well. So it's a nice little pickup here for Polaris. But I think Tempest, you were mentioning if they might add some vision here. I think they might struggle to add vision into their team now, because they have already already Viper picked into their team, which I expect to be an offlane Viper, though we've also seen him be run in multiple different ways. Oh, look at
I
the
just have
setup
a
now.
Yeah, the sun strikes, the global presence, just period, coming out from the side of Polaris has become much stronger here with the Invoker pickup, and of course the Nature's Prophet being able to be pretty much anywhere he wants to be with that Wrath of Nature too. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot for them to deal with. But okay, so this is most likely I'm gonna guess a safe lane Shadow Fiend. I don't think we're gonna see the Dendi position 5 SF this game. Although, you know, again, if you're already in your placement, you know, what have you got to lose? Maybe you try something a little different. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? You can at least try for it. I don't know. We think we're gonna need Dendi to come back and show it. He was having some fun with the 5 SF when I played with him, but yeah, this should be a safe lane SF and mid Void Spirit. Void Spirit does decently enough against Invoker, though the Cold Snap can be annoying for him. It can be difficult to use or dissimulate if it's going to be a Crosswex Invoker. But when you have Clockwork and Nature's Prophet, it's almost a waste not to go Exort, I feel. So perhaps this is just Exort Invoker.
Yeah, that would definitely make the most sense to me here. I'm curious too if they opt to, like, looking at what they have, they could actually go for a Faceless Void on the side of Polaris. You can move that Nature's Prophet, put him into the off lane. Again, that gives you kind of those melee supports that I know you're not super crazy about, but it would then give them the opportunity to get the Faceless Void, have it follow up with all of these like AoE kind of spells. The Cataclysm plus Faceless Void Chrono is just absolutely devastating if it gets late enough.
Yeah, you could pick it. I'm a little bit concerned about picking Face Void into what would probably be a Viper lane. That can be hard to farm just because your Time Walk is not great against damage over time. It's easier to use it effectively against high damage bursts and less so against Viper with all his building up damage over time abilities. So it would round out their draft nicely, but just because of how dangerous that lane looks, maybe they would like something more long range. I'm leaning towards perhaps something along the lines of a Drow Ranger even for them. But we'll see what they want to do. It would certainly be easier to play out in laning stage, and I think it could scale pretty well with the lineup they have to.
What is the hero that you think they would want to pick up here for? I'm just looking at this draft. I'm trying to figure out
for
who's
Tempest
going where and why here. Yeah.
I mean, I think Tempest are either running a support Viper or they're simply just waiting with their pos 5 last pick here, which is.
I think it's got to be a support Viper now at this point, right? With what they've picked up.
It doesn't have to be. It can still simply be them just wanting for some reason to last pick their support. But yeah, support Viper has been played quite a bit lately. So while it is possible, I'm still kind of leaning to that being their offlaner.
It just feels a little odd to me that you would pick up this Viper so early. I don't know.
I mean, Polaris are on the same page. They're banning out the Ogre Magi, so they're also thinking that this looks like they're just saving up some form of support coming in late here. Usually, we don't give that kind of luxury to pos 5 players. We don't let them have anything nice. But I'm thinking Tempest have already revealed their lanes quite hard here.
Turn to pick.
I have to say that's one thing that I really enjoyed watching the most recent True site was just hearing the teams deliberate over which heroes that they should pick and which ones to ban and how much they had each other's numbers, especially like, when they talk about the supports, like going through all of the instances of like, oh yeah, Ogre would be so incredibly good here. And then they're like, yeah, don't let them have Ogre. We can see that coming.
True. Team Spirit and their discussions about lanes was also fun and like what was going to happen. Okay, so it's going to be a Tusk as the last pickup from Polaris. All right. Sure. So this is looking a lot now like it's a carry Nature's Prophet and some brawly like Tusk Undying lane on the off lane perhaps, or Tusk Clockwork lane.
5 seconds
But this tempo is going to be insane coming out from the side of Polaris. Like we saw game number 1, it was already just a murder fest. But with these heroes, Oh, this is gonna be real rough for Tempest.
You know what their draft is? Their draft is Natsumi saying that, hey, I also want to play the game this time, because he was just playing PvE, and this time he's like, nah, give me carry Nature's Prophet or something so I can actually join and do things. Or maybe he's gonna play some crazy stuff like carry Tusk. Let's go.
Choose your hero.
Okay, it's gonna be support Viper then, with the Mars coming out.
Safe lane Shadow Fiend. All right, well, what do you think? How do you feel about this this lineup? Because I'm feeling like Polaris, after game number 1, the way that they played, this is going to be a very fast game.
It feels like it. They look confident. They're picking, stuff that's aimed at winning early. They want to go in for like a 20-minute crush here. Tempest, they do have big combination spells they can use. They have the Shaker, they have the Mars, the SF ulti coming in as well. But I wonder how easy it will be to get all that off when there's so many disruptive things on the side of Polaris, between Clockwork, Tusk, and all the Invoker stuff that's going to come out, especially if it's Quas-Wex. I think this is going to be tough for Tempest, but we'll see what they can do with it. I like that they go with the Shadow Fiend, though.
Is that going to be enough, though? Is that going to be, enough of a... because he's facing off with that Invoker. It's not as easy as some of the other matchups that we've seen with Shadow Fiend facing off like something like an Ember, right?
Oh, I think they're sending the Void Spirit, though, against the Invoker. So he's going to be safe, and he's going to get some time to farm, I suppose. But I just think that Shadow Fiend is in a very good spot right now, and is quite a powerful hero overall. So I like that they go for it here, because he's been having pretty decent success throughout the last chance qualifier overall as a hero. Just judging by how well people have performed on him when I've seen it.
All right, well, we should probably head into the game and see how this is all going to pan out here. Since this is, of course, I think both the teams have solidified their positions at this point, with Polaris making it up to the upper bracket, and then, of course, Tempest making their way into this game. They were already set up for lower. So, should see some fun stuff, hopefully.
Yeah. It should be mentioned, though, that Polaris, while they have secured upper bracket, they can still get a better or worse placement in the upper bracket. If they win this 2-0 and then proceed to win their second matchup as well, which I think is against Vici Gaming, I believe, then they could get like the upper placement in the upper bracket, right? You have seeding still. So expecting them to still get, hungry for a 2-0 here, and same thing in their next matchup.
I love the treants that they're using on their Nature's Prophet. They have the Kakamora. The little coconut dudes, I love them.
I like them better than the vegetable ones. Yeah, these guys look like warriors matchup.
I love the treants that they're using on their Nature's Prophet. They have the Kakamora. The little coconut dudes, I love them.
I like them better than the vegetable ones. Yeah, these guys look like warriors.
They got a tiny little spear. Look at them. They've got a little leaf, shields here, everything. So they're going to go for the invasion over here on the side. Looks like they should be able to get themselves this rune, no problem. And they'll do a little bit of harassment, but Tempest, they feel a little scared. So Polaris is going to be able to get, I believe, all 4 runes, which does not bode well for the side of Tempest.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't get a single rune when they have heroes like Viper. I mean, Viper is quite strong for the first blood contesting, and even Shadow Fiend is quite a...
The side of Tempest.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't get a single rune when they strong hero with the Shadow Race. They have heroes like Viper. I mean, Viper is quite strong for the first blood contesting, and even Shadow Fiend is quite a strong hero with the Shadow Races at the start. So that is a massive lead already, like a 1,000 gold lead, just getting all those runes.
And they have opted to do a lane shift here. They put Draken down in the bottom lane instead of Kotaro. Kotaro's top. But they also adjust accordingly, because now you see Natsumi down in the off lane. So an interesting choice, to be sure. What's your read on this, Waga?
I'm looking at the game. I'm looking at the off-lane SF here. He's going to get possibly a kill? Maybe? Shaker diving in?
Yeah, he's definitely going for this dive. They want this kill, and there it is. That'll be the first blood.
on the back of that Shadow Fiend. And bottom, also looking for a first blood, but you know, it's too late for a first blood now.
Might be able to get themselves a retaliation kill, yeah. Not the best, but at least you get something out of it. You don't get the XP, unfortunately, if you're Katu, but you managed to take someone out. But I guess at that point, right, you're already sitting so low in terms of your mana and health, you might as well just get sent back to the base anyways.
Honestly, it might be a better thing they didn't get the experience, because now that was solo experience to Mars, so he's level 2.5 already, getting an easier lane because of it.
Taking a look over in the mid lane, Tempest versus Lelouch. You can see that Lelouch just a little bit behind here in terms of CS. We've got Sebas with 10 and 5, and Lelouch at 7 and 0. It is, of course, the Invoker, and looks like he's going Quas-Wex here.
Yeah, so I'm not going to play for those Sunstrikes, despite having both Clockwork and Sprouts from Nature's Prophet, but it's a good idea, I think, to be Quas-Wex here. It's great against Mars, it's really nice against Void Spirit as well, so I can understand the decision.
I think I would have liked to see him go for the Exort just because it's more brawly, like we talked about earlier with the amount of lockdown they have. But again, bringing up some good points, definitely still very valuable to be going the Quas-Wex.
I think Quas-Wex can almost be more... It's more active, right? You're going to make the rotation. You're not going to throw in just a Sunstrike. You're going to move there with your hero, with Urn of Shadows, and look for more stuff to happen. So it's the more active approach, I think, in the end. Oh, that Fissure pushes him out.
Feels like a slightly slower tempo game this time around. Not by much, obviously, but I feel like we had more kills at the 3-minute mark than what we have currently.
I mean, yeah, it was an extraordinarily hectic game one for sure, but still, this is looking very contested. The top lane is constantly looking for angles to get kills on each other, and Clockwork just being annoying.
AU making his way over here to this mid lane. They'll use the cold snap, put some pressure over onto Sebas, get a decay off, soul rip, just some pressure as AU wanders through.
Just comes in and throws 2 damage spells and then runs away again. Like, that's it. I didn't kill you, but I ganked you. I did the damage.
I feel like if you're a mid laner, you're just like, what the heck was that?
People do that sometimes. Very spiteful moves. You're like, you didn't even kill me. What was this good for, you know? Why you gotta be like this?
That'll be a water rune that gets snapped up, and it's a very good control here. That means that Sebas is going to just have this empty bottle that he's not going to be able to do anything with, and has very limited regen. Just have, you know, a couple of these stick charges and a fairy fire, but not the most opportune. It's not looking good for him. He's dead. He's not dead. Oh, the outplay. No, he's got a fairy fire, Lelouch. Oh, the back off turns around, goes up. Oh, very nicely done with this Invoker. The tip comes out even as Gotara does find the kill of Xavius in the other lane, but Natsumi will collect themselves a revenge kill.
Oh, imagine
chasing after Natsumi, but not going to be able to grab.
If only there was a sentry on mid lane, then that one tower hit would have landed on the Invoker, but he evades it and then goes out from the Ghost Walk to get the last hit on Void Spirit as well. Nice little outplay there.
That's when you hit him with the OD pixel. Oh, very cute.
Yeah, there's plenty of voice lines now to spam and use for different scenarios. I feel like we have voice lines for every single possible scenario in Dota. And they're permanent. I like the permanent thing about it.
Yeah, that is pretty nice.
We never had any like permanent lines before.
The snowball, the chase is on, and Slater, he does TP down, but he's just too late. They do have the tombstone up, so needs to be careful that he doesn't get too close to this.
Top lane, the SF getting a little bit too close to Clockwork again, but Furion, can he get there in time with the Sprout?
No, he had the Wrath of Nature. Yep. Get the kill on Katara. There it is. Gets the Sprout, turns back around over onto Katyu. Trying to body block here.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what feels bad. They're trying to surround him. Get him, little warriors, cries Natsumi.
Very clean play there by Natsumi. Really good micro. And to be fair, I mean, Viper has 275 movement speed. He's like the slowest person ever. He can't get around these little treants. When they want to body block him, they have 340 movement speed each. Those little bastards.
There are 2 supports over here. AU does spot Sebas, but they have themselves... Oh, they do. They brought the detection. These are good supports. They want this kill, but they don't have dust, so it is going to make it a little bit more difficult. Although Sebas does reveal himself, clicking off some of these on the side. Sladine making his way over. He's only sitting at level 3, though, so he's going to get cogged up by Xavius on the back end, and it seems like, you know, they're happy to go for this kill. They'll be able to take down an Earthshaker. Another nice thing for them to finish up. AU no mana left here, but Sebas just feels a little bit too nervous to be able to hard commit, as Kachu does join in, get some of those poisons itself. And they've got themselves a couple wand charges over on Lelouch, so should be fine, but they will back off.
So many poison attacks, but he just can't kill him. 3 points in Quas already. This poor Viper. Viper supports is more meant to be strong and owning in laning stage, which he wasn't really allowed to do in this game. He struggled to have the impact that I think a support Viper usually is expected to have. And now it's a bit awkward, like making rotations, making ganks as Viper. How do you do it?
Oh boy. Well, they're looking for more. They'd like to get Sladine here. Just gonna try to slow him down with that Ghost Walk. It's just the battle of the big boys here, as Undying and Earthshaker just poke each other. But Lelouch eventually going to show himself. Good Fissure coming into play. Following up though with the Cold Snap. It's another kill for Lelouch.
Yeah, just waiting for Cold Snap the entire time. Top lane, we see Clockwork trying to move behind. Maybe they're gonna try and get a kill here.
Drag back again, but this time Sebas can go for that rune. Top lane though, Xavius showing up, looking at Kotar, gonna open up with the battery assault because we've got a very active Polaris, as just giving off those couple clicks here to Kotar. They'll follow up with the tornado, and the final hit coming through. They'll end up getting Kachi as well, and Lelouch is sitting a little low, but he's gonna be absolutely fine.
Watching this Viper is the saddest thing. He just stands there, attacks like 9 times into Invoker, and Invoker just regions, casually regions with Quas standing in the spits. There's nothing he can really do to stop him. And they're diving top again.
I don't know if you call it a dive at this point. There's no tower there. Oh no, he's stuck in the trees. The trees, Sladine. Oh, and now Kachu, he's joined in. And Sebas, though, does have a haste rune, so perhaps they can make something happen, but he just doesn't have that vision. Isn't going to be able to go and find Lelouch when he's Ghost Walked like this.
Bottom lane as well.
Yeah, that's another kill. This is shaping up to look very uncomfortable here for the side of Tempest, as AU does end up popping that Flesh Golem. What else is going on? A little bit of a dive. This one's definitely a dive. You're behind the tower. Lelouch, he's gonna go and he's gonna try to... Yeah, ends up getting the kill. Lelouch, they still have the vision on him here. Nope, he keeps walking into the side of the wall. He's actually gonna be able to survive this. They're trying. They have... Oh, God. They don't have the detection. I thought they had the detection for him, but it was just Lelouch walking into the side of the arena the entire time.
Yeah, funny thing is...
Oh, there it is. Okay, they've got it now. Surely you get this kill. You finally get the kill. Yes.
Nice. Shaker in a good position there. Funny thing is, if Sebas just used his Resonant Pulse instead of all his level 1 abilities, he would have gotten the kill immediately there. He tried every ability apart from the one he has 4 points in.
Maybe it was a bit of a panic. I don't know.
Definitely.
It's like, he's got to be here. We got to do something. We got to get him. We got to kill this guy.
I mean, there was not much time to react to it. Just have to try.
Force just casually walking through, gives him a punch.
Yeah, I like the way Force is playing. He's basically playing like a bit of an overfarmed pos 4 as well, just running at people and fighting them.
Draken is looking might dead here. I like how Lelouch has just been using the Ghost Walk consistently just to slow him down, so that way his teammates can click and do the damage.
I think the wraparound is coming to mid now. Everyone is kind of moving there. Clockwork has spotted the SF in the jungle. He has a ward on him. Observer ward is revealing him. Gonna see a hook shot soon.
Immediately breaks. Snowball over on the back lines. Force finds himself an opening. Doesn't quite manage to finish off Sladine right away, but will get the kill. They drop the sentry ward, they'll use the step forward, the pull back over onto Natsumi. They're hoping that they can get this kill, and they will be able to find it this time around as Xavius is still caught in that arena. Does manage to put the circle in the circle though, using that cogs to buy him enough time to survive, but they end up losing the Nature's Prophet over on the side of Polaris.
Yeah, his first death, so that was a 6-kill streak that he fed away, but still I think it is looking like Polaris don't want to slow down.
I definitely agree with that. They're like, okay, there's no arena, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Snowball force like for the opening. Good spear from Draken. We'll pin him to the tower. We'll jump back in. There's the Walrus Punch, though. Xavius trying to get into position. He wants to try to get the Battery Assault off those cogs, hold them into place or anything. As Tempest does end up getting treed. He doesn't have any options as he gets forced right over into the arms of Polaris, into those cogs. A very nice play coming out from the side of Polaris.
Poor guy is just not allowed to move. First you get sprouted, then you get cogged right afterwards. You just cannot leave. This poor guy.
Get the heck out of there, Kotaro. They're already pincering. You have to know that. They've got so much global power. Yeah, look at this. The Ghost Walk into the Cold Snap, the EMP, the sheer clicks from Natsumi. There is no place that is safe for the Shadow Fiend to farm.
Right now they do not have a level 6 on either a Shaker or Viper. Finally they get it now on Shaker as he has found some time to stand on the bottom lane here. You just need to start getting some ultis to play with if you're Tempest. They're so far behind in levels.
You can't show on the map at all. The Shaker just hit level 6, by the way. Hook shot over on the side. The opening over on Sebas. He's... Yeah, I don't know. This is another Gaben's upper torso shellacking.
Yeah, it's looking a lot reminiscent of game 1 here. It's Tempest are not really able to get anything done. There's no breathing room. The moment they show a little bit too far out on lanes, there's immediately a rotation from either Clockwork, the Fury TPing in, or even just Tusk running in and punching someone. And now Tusk has a Blink Dagger, I believe, coming out as well, so he's going to be able to catch people even harder.
Look at the support duo already making their way down. They go, they drop the tombstone, they'll drop the cogs off to the side so that way they don't get great positioning right away. That's a big response coming out from the side of Tempest.
Yeah, they moved a lot of heroes, but I don't think they can go into their own jungle. Look at Polaris, they're just sitting here waiting for them to come. Even though Tempest see them, I'm not sure if they can do something to clock. Maybe they can go on them?
I mean, he's literally standing on top of this ward. And they're too afraid. They don't think they can do it. They don't have all the heroes. They don't know where this Nature's Prophet is. Nature's Prophet can also just join at any moment. They've been baited a couple times with Lelouch, who just happens to show up with the Ghost Walk, scouting. It's a hard situation for them.
Yeah, they're trying now with the smoke. They have the Shaker ulti. They need to make something happen. Gotta go top and look for whatever they can find. There's an Invoker around, but he is in Ghost Walk.
Hook shot in over on the mid lane. They found Draken, and the support duo alone is doing so much work. Chase on to Katyu. They just can't do much of anything on this Viper, unfortunately.
At least they got the Invoker down there. He was trying to go for a kill on the SF again, but the smoke was very close to it. I mean, trading 1 kill for 1 kill when you're this far behind, it is a fantastic trade, right? It's always something. They got 322 gold for that.
I think the bigger concern, though, is you used your Echo Slam to get that kill, so now there's less of a threat if you decide that you want to team up and you want to make these plays.
Yeah, I think he could simply just have Fissured as well, but he just ran up and Echo Slammed him instead. Got close enough. But, I mean, he doesn't have Blink Dagger anyway on Shaker, so using the ulti would be difficult if you're not using it during a smoke.
I know, sometimes I feel like just the threat. Oh, here we go. Here's a Sunstrike into cogs, into everything. But I feel like sometimes just the threat of some of these big team fight ultimates, just because it gives you the opportunity to get in position a little bit better, is more valuable than the actual spell, if that makes sense.
That can certainly be true. I just think Polaris right now are not necessarily recognizing it as a threat, even as they just kind of do what they want the entirety of this first 16 minutes of the game here. Now we're gonna go into Roche. Tombstone secure it.
16 minutes Roche, not bad.
Oh no,
Top
SF.
lane, they found themselves Kotaro. Again, he's not going to be able to do anything. That battery assault just locking him into place and allowing Natsumi to get the final hit.
Mid lane as well. Invoker not gonna get the connection on the right click there. Mars blinks to safety.
Bottom lane already hunting again, Xavius. It's the rocket flare. He's going to poke a little bit at Sebas. Now said it's going to be difficult to get that lockdown. He's going to need some help as Natsumi does get dragged back. Doesn't have an Orchid or anything like that. Does have the BKB. So...
Yeah, and he's got
drop
TP
some
out.
of these little guys, and he's gonna. Yeah, I think you have to when you see this response coming out from Tempest right now. Xavius is just able to hook shot out over onto the back lines. It's not looking good for Lelouch because they do manage to go and get that arena of blood off. So he's gonna try to put some of these clicks out. That is the Aegis, though, so they need to be able to get a secondary kill, and it just feels like they want to get the heck out as soon as possible. The Walrus Punch coming through. No teleport out for you, Kachi. No teleport out there for you, Draken. And Sebas says, please, God, just don't look in the tree lines.
Yeah, they did actually ping him immediately as well, but they're not gonna go in and check there. They're just gonna let it be. He could get out quite easily though, even if they try and chase him. It's a bit like chasing a puck sometimes trying to chase a Void Spirit. But he's gonna cut the next creep wave.
Now, I'm not a Void Spirit player here, so I'm going to rely on you for this information, but he opted to go for the Witchblade. Is that the choice? Because I know I've watched a couple other Void Spirits who were not behind, and they still opted to go for a Yule's to be able to, you know, get the setup, get that little bit of a save if needed. Do you agree with picking this item up in this order?
It got a minor nerf recently. I think Witchblade is still completely valid for Void Spirit. And I think the hero is quite forgivable. You can do a lot of different builds. Like you can give him a Yule Scepter. You can go Kaya Sanj as well. I still think I would have gone Witchblade as well. But
they have to know that this is a bait. Like, there's no way Xavius just walks up like that. In fact, he's still alive, and Draken is going to get separated. Echo Slam over on the back line coming out, but doesn't look like it's going to be enough because they do have the BKB. They've got the right-click damage. Natsumi is going to teleport out, as now they've used that Soul Rip multiple times to keep people alive. Lelouch's hunting. He wants this. They do have themselves that Sentry Ward, but they get a nice snowball coming out from the side, of course, making sure that he can keep him alive just a little bit longer. They'll get the kill on Katara, and they want Sebas too. They should be able to get it. They'll chase them down. They'll follow up with the Tornado and a Sunstrike, and Natsumi, being an Aegis Prophet, just comes right back in again. That is a team wipe on Tempest.
yeah, Tempest are getting absolutely everything. They had some good vision as well during that fight, planting vision on the high ground so that they could see everyone and get the clean initiation. I also like how Furin is just able to TP out every single fight. Just presses the BKB, TPs out, and then comes back in again with the teleportation. But yeah, this is looking pretty much like Polaris are in complete control of these team fights.
It felt almost like desperation, right? Because you see a Clockwork, but when the Clockwork starts walking at you like that, you have to realize something is up.
I think you have to realize that in general by how the game has been going. I mean, we're at 19 minutes. There's 33 kills for Polaris. They have just been running aggressively. If there's one, there's another. That's what you have to assume in this game.
Well, I think especially when you have a Nature's Prophet, right? Like, every time that you show on the map, there's someone who's going to be hunting you, whether it's Lelouch, whether it's Xavius, or it's just, you know, Natsumi being like, I'm going to join too. I'm good. You know, I could go hit creeps or I could hit heroes, and heroes seem like more fun, so.
Speaking of Natsumi, finds a little treasure there in 3 bounty runes that were just standing here in his own jungle, so gets a nice little bit of gold. Nobody has really played that area.
This is a dead Katu. Poor Katu. This guy has died 9 times already this game.
And he gets tusk punched up into the air, so he's closer to the sun. The Sunstrike amplified.
God, imagine if that was truly how that worked. It'd be absolutely wild. Tara, and again, these are the supports that just go in. They have no fear. Tara being held over into the corner. He is going to end up falling. Draken, he manages to get a pretty decent arena off, but it's just not enough as they'll finish cleaning up Sebas, and now Slayden running for his life. They just called GG. They've had enough.
Dig, Shaker. Dig before they kill you. Dig.
Now be careful, though, if you dig it up. We saw what happened to
deny yourself to the
Kristalis
kobold.
the other.
Yes. It's fine. The shovel only kills morphlings.
I should hope so.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty dominant fashion, I have to say. Polaris both those games looking very, very easy and straightforward. Tempest lose 2-0, and I feel like Polaris in game 2 here